1994 was when I first implemented the Camp Compass structure. It was the first time that I was able to grab students from my class and from some other teachers' classrooms and to be able to do what I felt was necessary with them to kind of broaden their horizons.
Yeah, nice shot.
But it's a process that takes years, and we're not gonna turn out 1 million kids. I could care less about turning out 1 million kids, but I can tell you what we're gonna turn out is gonna be quality. Wanna pick a lucky one?
It makes him eager to learn more and to concentrate in school because he has to have good grades in order to be here. And that's kind of like if he wants to go on a trip, I mean, that's the first time he's been out of Pennsylvania, besides with me, you know. And he had a great time. He did nothing but talk about it for days and days and days on end. So I think it's a positive thing that the Camp Compass program allows these kids to express themselves in different formats rather than just doing stuff locally. On the level of going to other states as far as he went, it's a fine motive for him to get academically sound in order to qualify to go to these trips.
It keeps a lot of us out of the streets and away from any bad things that happen around our neighborhood or even things that happen in school. If we get things like Camp Compass, to get Mr. Annoni in our life, you know, besides our parents helping us, Mr. Annoni pushes us through.
Just think about this. Kids, guns, inner city, hunting. Those are 4 words that just go, you know, they don't make any sense. You know, we've been able to make those words into a common phrase, you know, and that's just Camp Compass.
Mr. Annoni came up to me in school one day and he said, "Gomez, guess what?" I said, "What?" And he was like, "Well, you're gonna go to Kansas for a turkey hunt." I started jumping up and down, I was happy. And I was like, "Who's going with?" And he said, "Michael Bermudez."
Mr. Annoni called me and he told me there was a big hunt and he wanted me to go on it. And he showed me on the computer. And then the next morning, he showed me the lodge and stuff.
He told us like a month and a half before, so I was like, when are we gonna go, when are we gonna go? Because I was so excited, and he said, in April, and I was like, that long, I can't wait. And then we had a shooting practice, and I did pretty good, and Michael did pretty good, and then the day finally came, and we got packed up, and we got ready to leave.
So when you go home, you will be a turkey professional.
That's right.
Okay, so
Mostly we go in and just put them to bed, and then tomorrow morning we'll know right where they're at.
when I think about Alex Gomez, why did Alex climb the ladder? Alex Gomez learned how to play the game, and Alex Gomez learned how to play the game well. Everything from yes, no, please, thank you, to turning in these field reports. Alex Gomez set a new standard at the Academy for field reports. And for those of you that don't know what field reports are required writings, required documentation of a child's trip. So there's some English involved here, there's some social studies involved, and students have to actually write stories about their experiences.
I met Mr. Annoni's expectations when I first met him. You know, I was one of the first ones that did the best field reports. I mean, I did cover page, I did typing.
Typically, we were getting stories on notebook paper. And one day, this type report showed up with pictures in it. And my staff of volunteers looked at it and we thought, ooh, looky here, it's somebody that's stepping up, somebody that's turning up the heat on everybody else. And Gomez consistently did that. He consistently worked harder and consistently set the bar higher for our kids. Gomez made our academy better. That's why he got to go. Here we go.
When I got into camp, I really didn't know him a lot. He was just like a teacher. But once you know Mr. Annoni, he's a great guy. He always gets you happy. He's never down. He always makes you really happy. And when he said that going to Kansas, I was like, I'm really glad because, you know Mr. Annoni is like your right-hand man. He's like the best. He's always on your back. He's always with you. You know, he just makes you feel good. And I wouldn't have went to Kansas if I didn't feel safe with him. When we were in Kansas, I felt good. I felt like if anything would go wrong, he would protect me. So I really felt glad that I got to go with Mr. Annoni. A little while, we were still calling them, no one really yelling back. So, you know, we seen a couple to my left side up a hill, but they wouldn't come down a lot at all. They weren't close enough to us. They weren't really gobbling back at all as much. And so we thought there were kind of some hens there that really hooked them. So then we pretty much started to pack up. We started yelling away, yakking away. Then all of a sudden, the owner says, "Be quiet, there's a bunch of turkeys over there." So I start shaking. I was like, oh my God, this might be the one.
Wait, put your head down. Slowly, don't move. Don't move. Don't move. Okay, slowly bring your gun up.
I had the gun up, not really, because I was getting ready to pack up. I was ready to go back. So while we were talking, it was just all of a sudden, it was unpredictable. A couple just came. They were so quiet, we really didn't think anything was coming. It started getting dark. Then all of a sudden, there comes some turkeys.
Don't move. The middle bird.
Mr. Annoni was confusing me. He was like, to the left, to the right, to the left. It just puffed up. I was like, which one?
Can you turn? Don't move.
And boy, all of a sudden, there they were. They were 20 yards from the decoys, all strutted out, 3 of them standing there, and how they let Alex get turned around, get settled.
Okay, one in the middle. You see him? Inside your safety. Just moved over to the left. The one on the left. Ready? Get ready. The one on the left. You have him. Go ahead. Yeah. Good job.
Finally, I didn't even use the gun rest. Put it on my knee. Bam. Went up in the air. All the rest ran. And it was so exciting. I got an Eastern turkey.
Who would ever think Allentown to Kansas, working academy? You know what I mean?
And only second time going on a plane.
And only second time going on a plane. Well, we're proud of you, man. We are proud of you. It takes these kind of experiences. We all know as sportsmen what these experiences do for us. That's why we give it to a kid who's living where he's living. You know, or the kid who's working as hard as he's working, because we want them to take those experiences away and say, wow, this grew me. I learned something from it. I can apply this in real life.
Hugged each other, and I was smiling. I couldn't stop smiling, and we went out, and I was like, finally, I got what I wanted. I was so happy, and whew, it was breathtaking.
I was going to second period, and Mr. Annoni called me, and he told me there was a big hunt, and he wanted me to go on it. and he showed me on the computer. And then the next morning, he showed me the lodge and stuff, and he told me to go home and tell my parents.
He came home one day with a packet for an invite to join the camp. We were kind of hesitant because of the fact that it had to do with hunting and guns and all that stuff. And we discussed it, and he sounded like he was interested, and myself and my husband, we decided to give it a shot, see how it was at first.
Not everybody gets to do a lot of stuff like this.
I'm glad I did. I know for a fact that the kids are safe, that they are teaching them the right way to handle guns and other equipment. I know for a fact that Michael knows what he's doing.
Hey, Mike, okay, what we're gonna do here is it's kind of a miserable day. And we're going to, it's kind of drizzling, the wind's blowing. Are you cold? Okay, we're gonna get in, there's this bottom right down here. And they'll come up from the bottom. Hopefully we can get something to move. I don't know if they'll hang up because the weather's pretty bad. Well, when we got out to where we were going to set up, I think Michael, just as a whole, right off the bat was a little overwhelmed. He was real quiet and shy, and as we got to talking to him and kidding around with him, he started opening up more.
First, when we flew up there, we got there at like 1 o'clock, went to sleep, and we got up, it was raining. And when we got out there, we didn't see anything. We started calling. Then we started hearing them.
It kind of played off like I thought it would, as far as the jakes coming up out of the draw and crossing the field. And for the weather conditions, we did get to see quite a few birds. You know, we had jakes come in the decoys, and he got to see a lot.
So we kept waiting and waiting. And it got colder, so we stopped and went back to the lodge and got something to eat.
Okay, hey, I think we're gonna head back to the lodge. It's about breakfast time, and so what we'll do is, you cold?
A little bit.
What we'll do is go back and get warmed up, eat some breakfast. It was a pretty good morning. At least, you know, in this rain, we got to see them jakes come in like that. Hopefully the weather clear up, get real nice this afternoon, and we'll get out there and get after it again, okay? But we'll get packed up here and get back to the lodge and eat some breakfast. How's that sound?
Good.
I think just to watch his face and putting it all together, it's a lot different than sitting in a classroom environment and all of a sudden I'm out here, I'm really doing it, and this is what it's all about. I think it meant the world to him. Now right down here, right around the corner down here, about 40 yards, is where we're going to set up in this spot. You see this ridge top over here? Mm-hmm. You got to really watch this ridge top, and all down through there, there's a great big draw. But again, they'll come down in here to roost at night, okay? Also, you got to watch coming from around this corner, because they'll come right across there. Because over here, there's also a food plot over here, okay? So you really have to, it's kind of a tough place to hunt, but it really you get a lot of action and there's a lot of turkeys in here. Okay? Okay, you ready? Let's get set up. Okay, Mike, what we're gonna do is set up in here. This looks like a real good place. We're gonna put you, what we'll do is we'll put you up against this tree. I just wanna make sure you can see the area real good. The afternoon hunt was a lot better hunt than the morning because, of course, the weather. And basically the way we set up was the exact opposite of what we set up in the morning. We were calling up out of the draw. We are actually roosting them. And so we were sitting in the draw, coming from a wheat field down to us. Where we were located at, they had a tendency to get right on top of us before, you know, Michael had a chance to see him. Okay, Mike, your gun's loaded, right? Decoys are out. I'm gonna put this mask on. And what we're gonna do is get this party started. Mike, we got birds coming in from the left. Just get ready, take your time. We got 2 Jakes. The second Jake, he's strutting a little bit. He's trying to strut, he's just a young bird. Now if you want him, it's your shot, okay? But let him come in. Just nice and easy. Easy, just take your time. Take your time. Okay, get ready. Okay, pull your gun up. Wait till he turns and looks there. Right there.
What was the most amazing thing, when Scott, from Midwest Outfitters closed the whole operation down for us. I mean, you don't think that made our kids feel important? You don't think that made this kid feel important? And when you look at somebody saying, you know what, I'm gonna stick the financial aspect aside, and we're going to work on the quality of life. I can tell you what, I think Scott's life has been changed too. I think Scott's got a little bit of the fever now. In fact, Scott handed us an open invitation, and if I had wings, I'd fly back, every year to do it with our kids, because I know Scott has that kind of quality, and that kind of compassion. Dan has that kind of compassion, and for me to have somebody say, look, this is ours, we're giving it to you. We trust you, John. Let us know what we need to do to get this accomplished. I mean, that's the most humbling thing in the world, because when you talk about a professional hunter, that's as close to a professional hunter as you get. Scott and Dan are as close to professional hunters as there will ever be. And for them to say, you know what? You're a professional with kids, John, and that's what's coming first. Let's tag team these turkeys and let's get it done. And the end result was 2 turkeys. And the coyote. So when you think about it, for those men to give of themselves, not of their pocketbook, but to give of themselves, that's the statement.